Good evening, Governor and Mrs. Deal, Senator Isaacson, distinguished guest. Craig, I was going to say that, we talked about that financial kicker that was in this place this evening if you finished before 9 o'clock. So I'm not going to give you the details. It falls to me to take a few minutes really on behalf of all the sponsors this evening and friends of Rogers and the Georgia Public Policy Foundation to say a word of thanks. At Coca-Cola, of course, this is a relationship that goes back many years, and there are so many people in this room that are connected to the intersection of this great institution and Rogers and Coca-Cola. But there are, I think, a number of people who aren't here, who I think are worthy of being mentioned. One person I do have to mention is our dear friend, the late Ovid Davis. And I mention Ovid because Ovid, I know, was a mentor of yours, Roger. He was a mentor of mine. He was a mentor of many of my colleagues here at Coca-Cola. He was a friend of many of you in this room. And the reason that I miss I miss Ovid tonight. You really don't even look that much alike. The reason I miss Ovid tonight is because he probably is the only one who would have had the courage to get up here and tell a really embarrassing story about something that you screwed up immensely. But maybe there'll be others. Since 1991, the Georgia Public Policy Foundation has given fair, independent, and credible analysis to all of us. The ability to carve out a role for objective, nonpartisan analysis in an era of dueling agendas and factual flexibility is testimony to the excellent work of a top-flight staff of professionals, and their effectiveness reflects outstanding leadership of valued colleague and good friend Rogers Wade. Too often, the term opinion leader goes to those who shout the loudest. But Rogers' position as a leader of opinion rests on speaking with insight, perspective, and hard-earned trust. Put simply, I would say, as many of you, that we've learned much from Rogers Wade. Along the way, Rogers taught me no more important lesson, perhaps, than the understanding that government affairs is not really about creating opinion on specific issues. Instead, it's really the default setting for community connection. It's also the understanding that the well-being of our communities and the strength of our businesses are a single issue. One can't advance one without the other. Good public policy is, again, quite simply put, good business. And the enlightened policy that brings together company and community is not a zero-sum game. There are truly win-win situations where everyone benefits. Common sense isn't always common. Common ground isn't always easy to achieve. Consensus isn't always easy to find. And yet, for 2 decades, the Georgia Public Policy Foundation and Rogers have succeeded again and again in helping our state find those 3 often elusive keys to progress. And the simple fact is that tonight we're better off as a result, as are the millions of Georgians unaware of the debt we all owe to this great man, Rogers Wade. Thank you.